Hi, second grade. So today we're going to go over the lesson objective. Identify how the use of varied natural resources changed from 1700 to 1900 in New York City. So first we're going to find out what natural resources are, in case you're wondering. What are natural resources? You watched a video all about natural resources. So let's review. They're things that are in nature, are found on Earth, help us live, and are used to make other things. Hmm. And then can we remember what some of those things are? Well, we learned about renewable natural resources. Those are natural resources that can grow again or that don't run out as long as we don't use too much of them. Water, food, forests, air, soil, wind, sun, timber, that's wood, plants, animals. Then we also learned about non-renewable resources, minerals, natural gas, coal, and oil. Many of those things have to be mined or taken out of the ground. And once they're gone, they don't reproduce, they don't renew. Let's think about what natural resources were important to New York City. And our lesson objective said from 1700. So now we have to go back in time and see what was happening back then. So one way we can look at that is we can look at the New York City Seal. This is the symbol or the seal for New York City. And on it, they placed something that was really important to New York City, and it was a natural resource. So when the city was New Amsterdam and the Dutch were in charge, this was in 1624, something that they were very proud of, and that was a big, big money maker for them, was beavers. So you can see here on their seal, the original seal is a beaver, and they did the beaver fur trade. So they traded their furs back in Europe. And then in 1664, the British took over New Amsterdam and named it New York City. And look, the beaver is still there. So they're still referring to the importance of the beaver trade, fur trade. But then they also have these barrels. Well, you may or may not know this, but starting to take over for the beaver trade, they were trading flour. And those are flour barrels. And here is the windmill, which also talks about the Dutch heritage of New York City. But the windmill is what's crushed all of the wheat into flour. So let's look at our seals on our New York City timeline. So to review, the first seal was in 1624 when New Amsterdam became a city. And then in 1664, when the English take control, they pretty much make a seal that looks pretty close to what we see today in New York City. And it has the windmill and the flour barrels and the beavers to talk about the heritage and the trade of New York City. All right, I hope you learned a little bit about the natural resources that were important to the city of New York during the 1700s. I'll see you next week.